Monday marks the 16th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States. Hey everybody, it's Chad HD, host of the Chad HD Show, which airs weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. Don't forget, become a subscriber to our channel. You'll know when we go live. We actually stream the show live here on YouTube, so go ahead and subscribe to us so that way you'll know whenever we pop on the channel. Also, don't forget, go ahead and like KFYO on Facebook while you're at it. So Monday will mark 16 years since the September 11th attacks on the United States. 16 years since that date, and it's amazing. I was a freshman in college over at Texas Tech University. 16 years, man, that seems like a long time ago. Long time since I moved out to Lubbock, and 16 years since I was a student over at Texas Tech University, and 16 years since a major terrorist attack on the United States. It seems now more than ever a part of history. You know, there are a lot of kids in schools these days who, well, they weren't around when the terrorist attacks happened. A lot of kids who don't remember 9/11. It's more of a date in history now than it ever has been. You know, you don't get the exact same feelings that you did maybe on, absolutely on year one, the first anniversary, year 5, or even year 10. I say that, but, it still rubs you raw, 9/11. It's still, you still think back to that morning and what you were doing. If you were alive on September 11th, you know exactly where you were, you knew exactly what you were doing, and you knew exactly what you were doing the rest of the day, which meant that your eyes were glued to the television and watching what was going on. We didn't have Twitter back in the day. Facebook was a baby back in that day. And of course, you didn't have the prevalence of even, your iPhone. You didn't have those back on September 11th. So a lot has changed in our world, but what hasn't changed is the threat of radical Islamic terrorism. It's maybe taken on a new name as far as ISIS goes. Maybe the techniques have changed. Instead of using a plane, maybe terrorists are wanting to kill us by using cars to run people down in the streets. But we all have to remember this, and it's still one of the lessons to take away from September 11th and the terrorist attacks of that day. There is an ideology, a radical ideology, that wants to see us all dead. Not only Americans, but those who enjoy freedom, those who enjoy their way of life that isn't dictated by radical Islam. That ideology wants to harm us all. Just as it did 16 years ago, it wants to harm us all still today. And I think that's one of the important lessons to take away as we, I guess, look back on 16 years of the war on terrorism, look back on 16 years of what happened on September 11th, 2001. To look back and remember, yeah, there was a threat of terrorism, obviously. There's been a threat of terrorism every single day since 9/11. The threat hasn't lessened. The threat is bigger now, I would say, than it has been in years because of ISIS and because of social media, and because now the popular, trendy thing to do in terrorism is to use a car to run over people. I look back on September 11th and I feel sad for our nation. I feel sad for what happened to our country. I feel sad for the innocence of the nation, maybe, that was lost on that day. You go back to 2001, you go back to 2000, and previous to the terrorist attacks, it was a different world. It was a different landscape, if you will. Now we have to deal with terrorism. It has to be in your mindset. Whenever you travel to a different country, whenever you travel to a ball game, whenever you go anywhere, at least the threat of terrorism it maybe pops up in the back of your mind. You have to worry about it. The lessons learned from September 11th, 2001, it's real simple. Radical Islam is our enemy. Radical Islamic terrorists want to kill us all. And we are in a world war, still to this day, against a radical ideology that wants to see us all dead. God bless America. God bless you. God bless your homes, your families. Stay safe, and think back to September 11th and what this day really means and the lessons that we should be taking from the 17th or the 16th anniversary of the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks on the United States. God bless.